Okay, so I guess maybe, Paula, Diane, you and Paula want to share like, what's going on with the flyer?
I sent it to you guys. I
Okay.
sent it to you. Did you get it, Mike?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted, was there anything about it that you wanted to share or?
I haven't received any feedback except from Allison saying she liked it, but I thought we could talk about it. What kind of changes do you want to see? What should we add? What should we take off?
Do you
I
want
haven't
to,
heard back from anyone.
do you want to bring it up on the share and we can take a quick look?
No, I can't because it's on my home PC. Does somebody have it?
Yeah, let me find
I
it.
can do this.
Yeah, I have in my email. Let me check.
So I think it looks great. It looks like the
Okay.
example that I sent Diane and she took it from there. So I think
Oh
she
no,
did a great job.
this looks way better than what you sent me.
Okay, so let me see. Diane.
Yeah, and I did the QR code if people want to just not take one, but want to scan it and do the petition. And then I do want them to email too. That's why I put because we do need, email is a legal record too.
Okay, so let me share here. Okay. Can you guys see it on your side?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks, so is the plan is this kind of print them out? We each do so many at like, so we can have a collection of like a few hundred, or was that the plan?
I don't know what the plan is, you guys. Last time, at the last meeting, y'all said that everyone would just print out their own, do a ream and whatever everybody was gonna do door to door. I don't know who was gonna do that. I missed the beginning, but I just said that our printer is not working that well. We've been working on it, and so I won't be able to print out 100 on or whatever. So I would have to take it somewhere. So then I said, does everybody just want to one person go and make copies and then hand them out and then split the cost, whatever you guys think is good. Who's going door to door?
I will share some information on door to door that I've put together some what we call turfs, right? And so I will be sharing that in just a moment. But while we're on the, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, whatever changes you guys, this is just a first draft. I can do whatever.
So I think it's fine as is, right? I mean, I don't think there's any changes needed. Allison, what about you?
I think it's great. I love the email contact, and also the QR code makes it really simple if they just want to scan it and sign the petition.
Mhm.
I think it's perfect the way it is.
Awesome. Yeah, the QR code is really nice. What about you, Paula?
I think it's eye-catching. I think it's a good format, so you can just kind of browse it, and I think it's good.
Yeah, I'm in line with the rest of you. I can probably, print out like a couple hundred on my side. Just, and I guess we want to have it be a color printer as well, so we get the red in there, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yes.
you don't have to. That's why I just made it 2 color.
Okay.
And I bolded, so if you guys don't want to do color, you don't have to, because the color is bold, so it'll still, pop out. So it's up, that's why I just did 2 color, so that it's not so much.
What do you guys think about also like when we get close to the meetings, the next meeting, we have like this, we do a flavor of this that's bigger for signs. And then we put in something about, come to the meeting, this location, whatever. Because remember, like Paul said, the way he found out about last meeting, he got something like taped to his mailbox or something, right? So I'm wondering, like, can we use the same kind of, format or whatever for like a sign as well?
I would have to create a specific size that would need to be set to a sign company. So it would just need to be refigured, which I can do. It's just, I have to know the exact dimensions. I have the software, Adobe Illustrator, that can do it. But it does have to be, sent to a sign shop for printing. So I don't know what kind of expenses you guys have, if there's money, I don't know.
Right.
I don't notice we're gonna have either. We've only been really getting 2 weeks notice, and by the time the slow mail gets delivered, it's like a week's notice. So I don't have turnaround time.
I just feel like if you guys want to go door to door, put them up at the mailboxes, take them to the liquor store, stand in the grocery store, which I'll volunteer to do. I don't mind doing that. I don't want to go door to door, but I don't mind, going in the grocery store and handing them out. I'm fine with that. If anyone wants to do that with me, or we could just get a little table and have some of these printed out and hand them out.
Yeah, I like that idea, because like we've talked about before, going to door, only so many people answer the door, right? So we'll have that to deal with. And then if you leave a flyer, even if they're not there, the chances of them picking it up and seeing it are slim.
Yeah.
And we talked about really the front of the neighborhood is, who's really affected. Well, the whole neighborhood is, right? Because it's going to lower property values, period. Maybe I should have added that.
Well, let me, that's a good segue. So let me share with you what we're doing for the door to door.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys still see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
This is a tool called Voter Builder. Okay. And this basically has, everything that comes from the Secretary of State. So everybody who is registered to vote or not registered to vote, and they live in Colorado, all that information is in this tool. Okay. So what I did is to Diane's point, I created 2 areas that are closest to where the Come and Go will be built, right? One is like, and I'll show you these on a maps, but I kind of broke it into 2 areas, and I just called them Terrace Ridge, Kings Ridge. Doesn't mean it's just those areas, but I've got basically 4 turfs for each area. And those turfs include, this is the number of people, and this is the number of doors. So what I tried to do is keep each turf around, 40, 45 at the most, right? Just so, you're not overwhelmed when you're going out door to door. So each of these are a door to door turf. And you can see here, each of these turfs have what we call a list number that you see here. This list number can be put into a tool called Minivan. It's an app you have on your phone. You just put in the list number and you say, go to next door, and your GPS does the rest. It's that simple. And then you just, go to each door, you'll have the name of the people that live in the house. So if they do answer the door, you can say, hello, Mrs. or Mr. And then you go into your whatever spiel you want. So this is the breakout. And so I'm going to show you what it looks like on a map. So let me bring this up. So I'm going to view map. This is for the kind of our side Diane, for Terrace Ridge.
We have 42 homes.
Correct. So, oh, is it making me re-log in? Okay, hold on.
And I'm planning on emailing this to our neighborhood, that, you know, the email addresses. And if you guys want to do that too, I'm going to send it over to Painter's Ridge. I can create an image that can be embedded right in the body of the email too. If you guys are interested in that, we can also email it.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
So for some reason,
So if this is how you want it, I'll go ahead and just create the image and send it out if you guys don't have any changes to it.
Okay, perfect. How do you have everyone's email, Diane?
We just have it in our neighborhood. We have our own directory.
Oh,
I don't know if we have all the new people. We've had some people move in since COVID. We actually have a social committee in our neighborhood. And one of the ladies keeps the directory up and sends it out, but it's stalled since COVID. We have a lot of parties in our neighborhood.
oh, how nice. Well, that would be really, that's
We miss them. We haven't seen one in a while.
We used to, at the very beginning of Kings Ridge, we used to have a directory. And then it went by the wayside. And then I asked the HOA long ago for something else to get a directory, just so I could kind of know my neighbors or whatever. And they denied ever having a directory.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I also have news on Kings Ridge HOA. I reached out to them once more because I thought I'm not going to give up. I spoke to Carrie, and she's the community manager or whatever.
yes.
Her attitude was completely turned around a 180. Very, very nice, very helpful. She said that she would be glad to look at the flyer once I had approval on it, and that if it wasn't biased, which I told her I thought it was a little bit that way. I mean, it has facts on there, but I told her I would send it to her and she could look at it. She said if she got it approved or whatever, that she could send it to our emails like they do for community meetings or whatever, and share it with the residents, but she couldn't guarantee it. She said that they had to remain neutral as an HOA because they could get sued. And she also said that the board of directors is remaining neutral because one of the board members is the city council, which we all know is Tim Dietz.
Yeah.
And I said he lives, right across from the gas station. So I would imagine that he is against it as well. And she thought the same. And she said that he has to be biased because of lawsuits. She also said that she had heard that the city, I guess, was getting into a lawsuit or potential lawsuit. I said, with who? And she said with the developer or planner, but she wasn't sure. And she said her husband worked for the city as well of Castle Rock. And it kind of made it sound like they were maybe not going to, vote it in. So,
Really?
well, that's her take on it. So I don't know if she's hearing things from, her spouse's work or exactly what. So I think we need to still keep going, but I thought that was encouraging what she said.
Yeah.
Are you
I
saying,
have that feeling.
does the HOA get a vote in the gas station? Is that what you're saying?
No, the Tim Dietz is, the city council person.
Oh,
Yeah. They don't
Yeah.
get to vote. She just said that they have to remain neutral because of lawsuits,
okay.
because it would be a conflict of interest. The same as the HOA, they could get into a lawsuit if they sent out, material that could be used against them. So I'll send the flyer to her, and all I can, see if, she'll share it.
Yeah. Great.
At least she was, a little bit more receptive to my conversation.
Yeah, that's really good. Good.
so I think Chad joined us. Hey, Chad.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, sorry, I'm got 4 kids that's running me all over the place, and I'm doing it on my own here. So
Did you find a quiet spot? Because I can't hear any children in the background.
They got sent to their rooms respectively.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
early bedtime tonight.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Chad. But so I finally, showed the turfs I was talking about just a moment ago. So these are the 4 turfs that are on this side of Crystal Valley, right? So Diane, you were saying like the 42 homes that make up Terrace Ridge, that's this right here, right? And so we got those homes that are below us. They're here. And then these 2 turfs are like, these are the kind of the closest on this side, being that the proposed changes right here. So that's, and you can see each turf is like 34 doors, 40 doors, 19 doors. This one's, a little bit smaller, but, you're walking a little bit further if you're walking, so we want to make it reasonable walking as well. And then of course, Diane, our particular neighborhood, which is, my thing came up with 41 homes, so I guess we're off a home. You mentioned 42, but this
might not include the memory home. That's more of it's not really a residential, it's more of a assisted living home business.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's this side. So if we go back, sorry. Sensitive here. So if I go back to my turfs, so that's 4 turfs kind of on this side of Crystal Valley, which is, 1 voting precinct. And I'll show you the other side here. This voter builder is being kind of slow. Okay, so that was the Terra Ridge side. So let me share with you the Kings Ridge side.
Downstairs watching Gabby Cats.
What was that?
What?
No, sorry, that was one of my kids again. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
one.
one of them's downstairs watching Gabby Cats, just so you're aware.
Oh,
Sure, everybody's concerned.
Okay, so let me blow this up. So you can see this is on the Kings Ridge side. So, we've got these 4 turfs. So like you were saying, Diane, the turfs that I got are the ones that are closest right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Most affected, probably most interested. And, we've got close to, just within these 8 turfs, close to like, 200-300 people, right? So I think this is a kind of a good start for us. And like I was saying earlier, these turfs are easily put into the app minivan. So what I was thinking is, when someone's interested in doing a turf, right, they can, maybe they come to my house initially, and then I can show them how to use the minivan, load the list, how to go to the next door, what you might want to do script wise when you meet someone at the door, those kind of things. So then we'll hand them, X number of flyers that would be sufficient for their turf, and they're off and running. What I was thinking is, and we mentioned this in the last meeting, there's studies that have been done. If you hit somebody so many times, right, and I think the magic number is 7, then they'll eventually come to your side, right? So, if we focus on just these 8 turfs and we keep hitting them multiple times, that might be one method we might want to pursue, to reach the larger audiences of Crystal Valley, and, maybe the social media we're using with Nextdoor and Facebook and all that might be what we want to focus on for maybe the bigger community, right? I mean, if we're really doing well with the door-to-door, we can go, to other levels, but I wanted to keep it small and nearby. So that way we can kind of see how it's going. So we can get, started as early as this weekend. So if someone says, hey, Michael, I'll do one of those turfs. I got a couple hours on either Saturday or Sunday. Let me come over, get set up a minivan. I'll give you the list number. And then I kind of show you, if you don't have printouts, for the flyer, here you go. Here's some extras. So maybe we'll use like my house as a hub as such, right? So, to get additional flyers if you need them, to load minivan and to load, and show you how it works. So, so we're ready to go. And I think we're ready with the flyer. So I think what we need to do is just, each of the group tries to print out as many as they can. And let's get going on this.
Mhm.
So I'll go ahead and plan on Saturday if you want me to start doing a couple hours.
Okay.
I'm not certain about using this thing, so you're definitely going to have to help me out on where you want me to go or whatever. I'll do Kings Ridge. We live on the east side of the lanterns from the swimming pool, so I'll do the whole Manor Briar Circle, which is a big circle. I'll do the little cul-de-sac that's inside it. We are also missing on the other side of Crystal Valley is also Kings Ridge, where that Donington, I think it says circle. I can't read it, it's so small. But that little group over there, so you got the green there and right across the street from Crystal Valley. See that Donington?
This Donahill's on the other map I showed.
Oh, okay.
So, that's why because the way the tool works, Paula, it's like, it's per voting precinct. So everybody on the south side of Crystal Valley is in precinct 510.
Okay.
And everybody on the north side is in 509. That's why they're in two different maps. But the other map has this as its own area. I think I divided in two because there's like close to 76 homes here. But we definitely have that covered. So so I think the thing we want to focus on now is just whoever can print. Let's go ahead and print, and then let's get started. This weekend.
So this weekend I'll volunteer for doing it's a swimming pool. I think it's Lanterns Parkway. I don't pay attention to street signs. So by the swimming pool east of there, all of Manor Briar Circle in the little cul-de-sac. I'll start with that first and then go from there.
Sure.
And then we also, do you have Montaigne's neighborhood as well?
Not yet. Okay. It's just like the most, like Diane was saying earlier, just like the people that can really like probably see the 24-hour light from where they live, right?
Yeah, they definitely will.
Yeah.
They're newcomers to the area.
Yeah. And that's why I think these are the people we can most likely, grow our numbers who want to support our cause.
Right.
Come to the meeting, sign the petition, put pressure on your city council person, whatever, right?
So it's Super Bowl Sunday, don't forget. So Sunday's not going to be a good day, but Saturday would be a great day to get to that grocery store, liquor store. So I don't mind go as long as I know that they approved. I don't know who Paul talked to, but I don't mind handing them out there because I think Saturday will be busy there.
I would agree, especially, with that coffee drive-through that's right there.
Yeah,
so,
we can give her, we're gonna have to go get some.
Maybe Diane can do is if two people can work the booth, right? That way you can try to hit more people.
Yeah, Leon will help me.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Right. Okay. You might want to touch base with Paul, like regarding arrangement that he, and maybe you might want to go there maybe beforehand just to make sure like they're okay with Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that would be the best day because most people will be coming and getting their booze for Super Bowl.
Right. And we'll try to, recruit people, right, to help us as volunteers that are, not part of our, Zoom group, right? So I will be, now that we have the turfs made, and, I've told others about what we're doing and they want to help, similar to like Chad. Chad is on the other side of Crystal Valley, but he wants to help, right? So, it's now a point of trying to get volunteers.
So do you want me to come to your house then? Is that what I'm supposed to be doing for Saturday's distribute?
Yeah. Are you able to print any on your side?
I can do some printing. Are we gonna all keep track of the expense and what we're all doing so that we can divide it all up?
Well, what if we all just print like an equal amount and then it's a wash, right?
Okay.
If we all print, like, how many would you say, like, if we all print like 300 pages or something? We're gonna go to FedEx. I think that's easier. The ink is so expensive. I'd rather just go there and have them do it. I don't think it's that much more expensive. It's probably the same because their ink lasts a lot longer than ours does.
Okay.
Maybe we all do. Do you think, Michael, like 300 is enough if we each do 300?
I think that would be plenty. Yeah. What do you guys think? Is that a good number, or do you think do others feel a different number to start off with? I think, if we're trying to just get going and, each turf is like 40 doors, and then the number of flyers you'll need to set up a booth at the, I think we kind of print as we go. It would be my thought, just so you don't end up with a whole bunch of extras. So maybe like 100 from each of us.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once we print, we can either bring them to me as the hub and then I distribute, or you use them, within the turfs that you yourself printed for. Either way is fine. Does that make sense to everyone? So it's kind of like the printing, those who maybe aren't going to be doing turfs and because they're doing something else, bring your flyers you printed to me as the hub, right? And then as we bring in volunteers, whatever, I've got the extra that can be used to hand out. Does that make sense to everyone?
So just bring the extras that we don't hand out to you.
Yes.
Okay.
The ones that you don't use yourself for turf that you're going to do, bring to me, right?
Okay.
And then when you bring to me, I can also show a minivan just to make the trip a little more useful.
Okay. Well, give us your address, Michael.
Sure. It's and I'll send out notes in the email as well. But it's 3743 Evening Glow. And that's one word with 2 G's in it.
Okay.
That's how we say it. One word, 2 G's.
Yeah. Is that how you tell people, Diane?
Yes. My last name isn't hard enough.
Yeah, I'm finally getting up with the Even Glow lingo. So that's way.
Okay.
And it's 80104. I think, like, are you guys 80104 on Kings Ridge side?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're just up the hill, take a left at Tara's Ridge, T-A-R-A, Tara's Ridge.
Okay.
So I apologize. I jumped on late. I heard one thing that perked my ears up when I first joined was HOA. What was the discussion around that? I'm sorry.
Paula?
I had just said that I had spoke to the Kings Ridge HOA and that they were a little bit more receptive than they were the first time that I tried to talk to them. And since we've approved the flyer that we're going to start distributing, I will email that to the community person tomorrow and see if she'll take a look at it, and if they're allowed to distribute it or whatever. Then she said that she would email it to all of the community like they do for an HOA meeting. But that may not happen depending on what she, if she gets approval to do that or not.
Okay. I just recently got elected to the HOA for my area, so I just was making sure that there wasn't a conflict of interest.
Yeah, and that's what they're worried about. She said that they, because that could bring lawsuits and whatnot. So she said that she'd be glad to look it over and then decide if they wanted to pass it on to the, community, or they don't want to do that.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot to say that there was a board meeting, she said, coming up. I believe she said, or not a board meeting, an HOA meeting, February 28th, I believe. She said that they always send an email blast out at the public library. And she said they, we're welcome to come there and discuss it with the HOA people there.
Hmm.
I might double check that. From what I got, I believe the meeting is on the 14th, because I'm kind of catching some grief.
And that's with Kings Ridge?
No, I'm sorry I'm assuming it was all the HOAs meeting 14th.
Yeah, she just said for HOA for the Kings Ridge on
Okay.
February 28th that was scheduled, so.
Yeah, Kings Ridge is not part of Crystal Valley.
Oh, okay.
So they're their own HOA and their own subdivision. They're not actually you pass Kings Ridge and then you see the Crystal Valley signs. So, yeah, they're not part of Crystal Valley. Our HOA, I'm not sure. I'm gonna post this on the Crystal Valley Facebook page because people have been asking. So I'm just gonna take the flyer and make an image, and then I'll also post it on the next door as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. Kind of get the digital, social media out there is good. All right. Anything else, you guys?
Nope, I wish we knew when the next meeting was, but like you guys, I honestly do not think it's gonna be approved. So,
I'm hoping that he's just gonna give up.
But
well, I don't think they're gonna give up. Honestly, I think they're gonna try again, according to the lawyer, the way she was talking, like, and they have to have this third meeting. They have to, for whatever reason, I don't know if that's, even if they say that we go ahead and rescind, we don't want to do it. But I don't know if you guys were you guys at the very first meeting by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember the woman that got up with the blonde hair that thanked us all for coming and said that this was the most attended meeting? I don't know if it was ever, but maybe in their time.
Mhm.
And did you kind of hear what she said between the lines? She said that there was another meeting before that. It was virtual with the owner of the lot that was trying to get it gas station. And I was
Yeah.
on that meeting.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden now he's trying to sell it to Come and Go. So I don't know why he's doing it. And I'm just shocked. But anyway, she got up and she said, it's the most well-attended meeting. Thank you for showing up. And just to remind you that the very first meeting, the rezoning was not approved. And she said, so I just wanted to remind you of that. And I'm like, why is she telling us this?
Mhm.
And it was just very weird. And I took it as being, okay, I know you guys are really upset. This is the most well-attended meeting. But remember, we didn't approve it the first time. So that's, I heard that. I keep seeing her face and I'm like, oh God, please let her be trying to send us a message.
Mhm.
So.
I agree with you guys. I think we're hearing and have heard encouraging news, but the way we run our effort here is that we act as if we're losing.
Mhm.
And that's how you motivate people, get people involved, because if people hear messages of like, yeah, I heard this board member saying that, it's not a problem, all that, people get complacent. And,
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
I Yeah,
Nope.
and I think if we can get enough people to come to the next meeting to where we're just can't fit them all and they're flowing out the door, that's what we need to be thinking of, right? Not just enough who can sit in seats, but standing room only, and they're, I would love it if we could get like 100, maybe more, right? And then it would just pack that place in. And then they would really see, oh my goodness, wow, they're really, organized. And I don't know if we want to, that's the message you send to them, right? So that's why the door to door, and just, I think part of the spiel when you do go to door and you do speak to someone is saying, and you hear, like, yeah, I don't want to, from the other person, you hear that, yeah, I don't want a gas station either, right? That's when you're just like, okay, we need to, there's going to be a meeting coming up. We don't know right now. It's going to come 2 weeks probably before. Can we like contact you when the time comes to show up at the meeting? And we start creating lists, right? And that's why hitting each turf multiple times can have benefits, because you can do a turf and say, well, I've already spoken to these 10 houses in my turf. I'm going to start going, hit them again, right? And if they answer, hey, spoke to you last time, can we still count on you? Make it short, but then you hopefully will get more people to answer doors, right? And then through the multiple iterations, you eventually get more and more people at the door. But the things you're talking about, Diane, where you're setting up a booth at a station, I mean, you're getting everyone, right? So I really like that idea as well. So
and then once we know when the meeting is, that's when I think we need to hit them again. Exactly. And then I can update it to where it says, what can you do? And we can change it to the meeting information. And the QR code can go to the website to get all the information, so that we can change this out.
When I get done distributing my little circle thing at the beginning, I'm going to take one of these flyers and put it on the mailbox when people aren't looking, because I don't think that you're supposed to be doing that. Also, I was wondering if we're considered a solicitor, because I know you need to have to register with the city or the town of Castle Rock. Like if you're selling something, is that considered a solicitation by doing the flyers?
Well, it depends on who you ask, right? Some people's understanding of solicitation is like, if you're just, going around with a flyer and you're wanting to support a cause, you could say, yes, you're selling something, but it's not like, you're telling them to dish out money to buy a product of some sort.
Right. I'm not
right. And that's what some other people consider to be solicitation, right? It's just if you're selling something that costs money, but if you're just supporting a cause, some argue, again, depending on who you ask, that's not solicitation. So
your neighbor.
Yeah, I've gone to plenty of doors where they had no solicitation, and I was doing some type of campaign effort like this and got screamed and yelled at. I've had others that are like, so thank you so much for coming to our door. So part of the door-to-door is just be prepared for, all types of people, basically.
Right. And then if they're not home, I guess I will slide it. A lot of people don't have screen doors or whatever, so I guess I'll try and slide it in between the crack. We have a lawn service, and that's what they do with our bills. They stick it through the little crack of the door so it doesn't blow away. But I'll take some tape with me too, and I'll tape it to their door.
Yeah, one method I've done, it's worked well too, Paula, is a lot of garage doors. A lot of people don't go through their front door; they go through the garage, right, to get in their house, right? So sometimes the garage doors have those little handles on them. What I do is I pull it up, put it in there, and that way when the car drives, they'll see it right away, right? And the garage door opens, it might be hard for them to get to it, but that's what I found that be effective, because again, so many people don't use a front door.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, you guys?
So Chad, do you have any thoughts about the HOA or being in the
Well,
back of the community? What are you thinking?
a good thing is, I just joined this, so I don't know what you guys have covered. I don't know what information is out there. So for me, I think it's really good for us up here to know exactly where the gas station is going to go, because I'm still not real for sure where it's being suggested to be put in. I have neighbors that think they know, and so they go around telling everybody, and that's not really the case. So if I could have the up-to-date information of the thought for zoning out and that kind of stuff. I think the other thing that was helpful is, for us up here, it's going to be out of sight. So if it's out of sight, it's out of mind for us.
Yep.
So I've got a lot of people on the Crystal Valley neighbors page that I know are my neighbors, and they are so for this gas station. And I can't tell you why. I don't understand, why they need a gas station right here in this neighborhood when, a year ago they were bitching about having a liquor store put in. So I feel like highlighting the negatives for my neighbors up here is going to be a real positive for me. For me, it's going to be more like the increased traffic, the, decreasing of your home value because of, this petroleum smell, potential petroleum smell coming from, nearby, that kind of thing. Because all they hear is, it's increased money. And I'm in my neighborhood alone, I am just drown in Republicans. So, and I'm talking like staunch Republicans that.
What does that got to do with the gas station?
Well, because
I don't want to live by a gas station either.
well, I think what it is that they hear me and they think I'm a Democrat, even though I'm not. They hear me talking bad about it, and so then they're like, "Oh, well, if the Democrats are against it, we're for it. We're gonna want it. We want it."
Gosh, this is
And
so ridiculous.
I mean, that's the world that we live in nowadays, right? So, I can tell your voter registration by if you're wearing a mask or not, right?
Right.
So
No.
it's kind of a frustrating deal for me up here because it's very black or white,
Well, I do know after posting for, what's it been, almost a year now on Nextdoor and the Facebook page for Crystal Valley, there have been people that want it. So I get that, and that's fine because it's not in their backyard. They don't care. It's convenient to them. They're only thinking about themselves. That's the world we live in. People are only thinking about themselves. So, trying to come back with the rezone so Mike, will you send him the flyer? Will you email him the flyer too?
Yes. I'll email the flyer. Sorry, Diane, but Chad, I'll also send like some documents that Allison has sent us before, which really talks about the negatives. I'll send you that as well.
That'd be really good. That way I can go through and I can, it sounds bad, I can cherry pick the ones that are going to affect us people that high on the plains,
And will you, Mike, do you guys have a link to the activity map on the crgov.com that shows all the projects and shows you, well, you know what? I looked for that location, that Come and Go, and it's not on there. Maybe it is. There's 3 different places. There's in process, approved and almost completed. And maybe it's one that's just hasn't started. Have you guys seen that activity map yet?
I'll be honest. I'll honestly say I haven't seen anything about it, about the gas station at all until I was at the county fair and I happened to walk by the Democratic booth.
No, it's really cool. So what is it called? CRGov .com is it? Anyway, there's an activity map, and I think it's right on the homepage. It says activity map or project map or something. And it's a map like what Michael's showing you right now. And it will have little dots, colored dots, and you can hover over them. And it will tell you what the projects are, where they are. That'll give you like all the information of what it's going to look like. And so Mike, do you want to show him on your map right now where the location is, just so that he knows
Sure.
too?
Sure. So are you seeing my screen, Chad?
Yeah, I can see it.
So like here's Plum Creek Boulevard and Crystal Valley Parkway, right? So, this is kind of like north side, south side, and then you're heading towards I-25 going this direction. So it's
Okay.
basically right here. It's going to be, kind of in this, you've got the grocery store and the little coffee place. And then as you come up this area right here.
It's an empty lot right in front of it.
Where the Montaigne housing
Yep.
additions.
Yeah,
Yeah. So as you turn to like the Montaigne, right, you're going down this road. But yeah, so that's why there's a lot of negatives about the traffic as well.
Right.
Yeah.
and there's gonna be a roundabout added right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Castle Rock does the roundabout so well.
Yep, love the roundabouts. So
It's,
that's gonna,
a roundabout will slow the traffic, right? And I think that's important for those who can hear the Crystal Valley Parkway traffic, that if people are going slower, that is a good thing.
Mhm.
So one of the other things I'm thinking of is I'm ringing somebody's doorbell and they say that, yes, I'm for it because I'm too lazy to go 3 miles to go get gas somewhere else. I want it in my backyard. Where am I going to refer to having them go check out the different facts of all these things?
Well, the question is we have to ask ourselves is, do we really want to work on persuasion, right? And if you're running a long campaign where you can work on persuasion, but my suggestion is you just mark that as someone that, we're not going to hit their door again, right?
Okay, so just tell them that I'm just sharing it with them.
Just
That
say, hey, thank
coming
you.
Okay.
If they want the flyer, great. And what you do is you just say, thank you for speaking to me, and gently walk away.
Okay,
and the QR code also takes to the Survey Monkey petition, but it does, Allison, doesn't it provide all that information right on that page too?
It does about the environmental
Yeah.
aspect of it, but not about crime or traffic or anything else, but at least the environmental part. And in my experience of posting online about this for over a year, people do want to make it a political issue, and I am always accused of being a liberal, which I'm not. So people think like, oh, you're an environmentalist. You want to drive a Tesla, and we hate environmentalists. So I get that response like several times a week. But I try to tell them, this is not about that. It's about all the traffic, the light pollution, lowering our property value. Gas stations are the number 4th most happening place as far as crime in the US. So I don't want a gas station with bullets flying in my backyard. And there's just so many issues, and it's not about being, for gas cars or against it. And once I tell people that, then they're like, oh, yeah, you're right.
okay.
They think it's about like having a charging station or something, and it's about getting rid of gas stations altogether. But there's plenty of land to build more gas stations in Castle Rock that are not 115 feet from the closest homes.
Right.
Just a bad spot.
Well, it's the zoning is that way for a reason,
Right.
right? It shouldn't be,
That's the whole
and
issue.
it shouldn't be partisan, right?
Mhm.
It's a nonpartisan. Everyone
Yeah.
should support it, well, not everyone, but majority should support it, especially those that live nearby and will,
Right.
the proper. Because when you say to someone that your property value will fall
Yes.
because of where you live close to this, that alone keeps it nonpartisan.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
that's kind of where I was going with it. You know, if we could get, if I could get, talking points that are generally nonpartisan. You know, yes, I'm all about not wanting to hurt the environment, but as soon as I say it's going to pollute our water, it's going to, that kind of thing, they're going to shut me down because they're going to think that I'm a liberal, bleeding heart, and they don't want me anywhere near their flag. So anything that's nonpartisan that I can just, help use for talking points or to refocus their attention on is beneficial. And then also to get away from just the broad scope of saying it's going to drop your property values. Do we have like any factual evidence of showing like in the past, like what this house over here was worth last year and what it is worth now because of the 7-Eleven going in right behind it?
Allison, have you seen any studies for anything like that?
Typically about comparing a house before and after, but I have in the past researched the property values, and the two things out of the top that kill your property value in the top 3 is a convenience store and a gas station. Oh, and a liquor store is also in the top 5.
Hmm,
So we would have all 3 of those things in our backyard.
yeah,
So it just talks about the top items that would drop your property score. It doesn't talk about how much each would
Right.
in it or
Right.
anything. Okay.
I think on the flyer, because when you guys said property values, I think I'm gonna move up fire hazards and health risks, and then add a no to dropping property values or something.
Okay.
I'm gonna add that line, and then I'll send it back out to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, really, when you're looking at a flyer, and I'm just pulling from my MBA stuff, is that, you want to put the things that are going to affect your audience the most at the top, because they're going to lose interest the further down they go. So you want to put your most heavy hitter at the top that affects your targeted audience the most.
Yeah, so I think we did that because what we want to focus on is a precedence. We don't want the town to just say yes to any rezone, no matter what it is. If it's not zoned for a swimming pool, then a swimming pool shouldn't go there. Like, there's a reason why the zoning is in place how it is. So to us, that's kind of what we wanted to focus on at the top, because it sets a precedence. If they say, yes, you can change the rezone on here, they're gonna do it everywhere. So that's number 1 to me, anyway, is if it's not zoned, town council, don't change it, right? They just want money, trust me. Anything that will bring in revenue, they're saying yes to. So that's, to me, the main issue. Then the second point is, oh yeah, and by the way, Kum Go has requested a zoning change for a 24-hour gas station within 100 feet from our homes. So that's the next point. But now where it says say no to, rezone. So that's the main thing, is we don't want rezoning. It just happens to be a 24-hour gas station that we don't want either.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add that an additional no up there. I put children's safety risk first because I thought that would be most important for people who have children. And then I'll move up health and fire, and I'll add the property values. I'll add that number 2.
While you're adding that, do you want to do the rezone at the very top, the R in red? Or the rezone, not the R, but the rezone at the top there?
The word rezone?
Yeah, so it says no rezone in red.
Sure, you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And really, you could, the violence issue affects children. I mean, my kids are going to be out running around, playing around, and there's a robbery. These people aren't shooting, they're not the best aimers, so they're just shooting. I mean, that affects everybody and not just your children. That way you're not just hitting people with children, because we have a lot of retirees or empty nesters in this neighborhood, in this, this area as well. So they don't want violence just as much as I don't want violence because I have kids.
Yeah, but human trafficking is the first thing that I thought of when I saw that top line of the children's safety risk. I think a lot of people are aware of that because gas stations are notorious hotspots for human trafficking and prostitution. And that's happened in Castle Rock gas stations as well. So we're not
I would say spell that out. I would put that in parentheses, honestly, because I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that.
Okay.
I mean, I just learned, 5 years ago that Elizabeth is heavy with sex trafficking. So people may not be as aware as you think they are, and I'll be one of those to admit that.
Okay.
Well, I'll
So
just add that on
yeah.
the crime, no to crime or human trafficking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of things, to Chad's point, resonate across the board. Property value, crime, and traffic, right?
And I would say I would use the dirty word sex in there. I would use human sex trafficking, because I hate to say it, but that's going to be an attention getter, and people may confuse. I mean, people are not as intelligent as we give them credit for sometimes. So if you just say human trafficking, they may combine traffic and as in vehicle traffic. I mean, you really have to, when you're trying to get a point across, what do they say? You're supposed to put it at a is it 3rd or 5th grade reading level.
Is someone hungry, Chad?
She just ate, and so now I'm walking her around trying to get her to burp.
Okay, so are we all in agreement that I'm going to say no to crime or human sex trafficking? Are you guys all in agreement to that?
Maybe slash crime / human sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So you're going to add that, you're saying, Diane?
Is everybody okay that I'm adding that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with what Chad's saying. Like, anything we can catch attention with, help our cause, why not?
Sure.
You're going to have people that are going to say, oh my God, really? That's really hyperbole.
No.
But then you're going to have the other people that are going to be, clutching their pearls and be like, oh my, I didn't know that. Well, we definitely don't want that around,
Girls. All right.
All right. I know we've gone over an hour a little bit. It's been good discussion. So it sounds like Diane, you'll make a few updates. Diane, the last email I sent out with regarding this meeting, I think Chad was on that email. So when you send out the new edition, make sure you include Chad in the distribution.
Okay, and then I'll also create a JPEG or PNG image if you guys want to post it anywhere else, or email it. If you guys have additional emails, we will go ahead and take care. I'll ask Paul to send out an email to our subdivision, and then I can get Arlen Shepherd over at Painters Ridge. He can take care of those people over there too. And then I'll post to the Facebook page for Crystal Valley and next door. How's that?
Perfect.
Sounds great. And I'll send out notes on the meeting, try to encourage people to print it out. And we'll get started this weekend on the door-to-door campaign.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Paul directly and just say, who did you talk to and what do I, or if I just have to stand outside, it's going to be a nice weekend, right? Stand out and be able to hand them out. I don't know. So I don't know if we need a table or not. We miid just be able to.
One way to catch people, if you're sending out the flyer, is to go right when the Super Bowl is happening on Sunday.
Oh,
You're like, everybody should be home at that time, right?
that's right.
But they'll be like, man, what, you're not watching the Super Bowl?
That's right.
I've gotten that when I knocked on the door, like when a Bronco game knocks on. Oh my goodness, I can tell you, like, "Yeah, what are you doing?"
That's right. You gotta pick your times. You don't want to get people mad.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All
thanks everyone. Enjoy the
All
rest
right,
of your
thank
evening.
you guys.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Take care. All right. Bye now.
Bye.